Welcome to the Home Staging Association podcast with Paloma Harrington.
Intro. So Daniel, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to apart from staging houses in fancy Orange County.
Thank you. My name is Daniel Kaufman. I am the owner of Stage Spaces here in Los Angeles. We are a lifestyle home staging company that we've been servicing this area. I'm sorry, I said for the last 9 years. Recently, we've kind of branched out a little bit into some new marketing programs, investing in our home staging community. I've started a kind of like a docu-series on home stagers, and this summer we've been kind of rolling out a test program of traveling and staying with these home stagers, uncovering what it is that really makes their business successful and tick, because we just think the positive exposure that that brings to our industry allows all of us to come up together. It's proven to be such a rewarding experience that I can see myself investing a lot more of my energy into this. Although home staging is, it's what got us here, and also something that at this point I'm not able to leave. It supports my entire life. It's the devil I love, the devil I know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's about seeing where it takes you, right? I mean, it is what it is. But for those that are here and have never really seen me or heard about me, I'm Paloma Harrington. I'm the founder of the HSA, and I'm the luckiest person alive to be here with Daniel Kaufman today, because he seems to be living the dream, and I want to learn how to do that and what tips he can give us so we can all live the dream as well. Because you know what, Daniel, I think lots of people that come to our social media, myself personally, or the association or the other associations that I'm part of, and yourself as well in your social media, this, oh my gosh, your channels are just amazing. And if anyone's here that haven't really seen it, they have to jump in and go and check it out right now, because it's so much fun, and everything will make sense once they see it. But I think people that come to us, they're normally there's a lot of newcomers, a lot of people that are still thinking as well of changing careers, and they keep saying, oh my gosh, home staging must be so exciting, so amazing to do, such a fun thing for a living. And then you come around and you start saying that you're basically living the dream, because you're staging houses everywhere, and you're connecting with other stages, and you're traveling. Then I mean, it's an easy sell, isn't it?
I think I should come to you more often. I mean, you just sold me on it. Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. But well, look, we all know that it's not all roses, right? Like at the end of the day, we had our schedule today that we were going to do this live, and then all of a sudden I had to jump in and do this Orange County job, and have to get in there. And so there is obviously the hard work side of it, and I think because you have been dealing with stages and following their journeys due to your new project, which we need to hear a little bit more about as well. But because of that, I think you managed to really understand and identify some pain points and some strengths as well that everyone kind of needs to work on if they want to, be successful, if they want to run a successful business, but also grow and become a better professional each day. And I think we spoke about last time, so anyone that's listening or watching right now, if you haven't seen what we spoke about last time about storytelling and how amazing it is to create good content that will connect you to your audience, and knowing who your audience is, all of that, go back and have a look. But what we're going to discuss today is just as important, right? Because you obviously identify that the content and knowing your audience is really important, but that's not all. Right? There's more to it.
I think so. I think there's such a hunger for being able to connect to the people that you go to for your services and products, and there's almost an expectation because we all have the ability to show our lives. I think every small business owner feels this like new pressure to also be a content creator alongside being whatever kind of professional business owner they were, to begin with. But with that comes a really awesome opportunity to be transparent. Transparency is it's such a genuine characteristic that you don't even really have to like someone to like the fact that they're being honest and upfront with you.
True.
And that has proven to be so valuable in my daily dealings with clients as a home stager. I used to feel the pressure as a younger home stager to provide inventory I didn't have, to be able to tackle jobs that were just simply too big for me, or to commit to even at the time renderings of rooms that I would never be able to create. And I wasted a lot of time and certainly a lot of energy trying to do that, when all along what I really needed to do was start being honest about what I do really well, being okay with that, and telling people that, and being very simple about the way I tell people what it is that I do. Because where I think a professional polish and ability to sell your service in a professional way is important and has its place, I think there are just as many opportunities to be very natural and conversational with your next client and have just as positive of an outcome.
And do you think, then you were saying about, big projects, small projects, and sometimes things that are bigger than what you can really take as a home staging company. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would feel really scared and really just afraid of losing business because I'm saying that I'm too small. But can we use transparency to be competitive? How do we balance it out?
I really think we can. And, that's a learning curve. I think for most home stagers in the beginning, we just want to say yes. We want to say yes to everything because every job is, it seems like the last job we might possibly get because we don't have a long history to know that there are dry times and there are prosperous times in this business. And so we say yes a lot. But what you might be doing is negating who you actually are in the industry. You might be canceling out what truly unique service you bring at the level where you are fit to be serving the industry. We are not a luxury brand, and it took me a long time to get over that. We sometimes do luxury homes, and those are the kinds of homes that we all want to look at online, but that's not the kind of home we do. We do $800,000 to $1 million homes, which in LA is kind of like the starter home.
Yeah.
And that's going to receive a serious marketing plan like staging. And these people are paying $3,500 to $4,500 for their staging. This isn't some $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 job. Yeah. Why
Not really.
am I treating it like that? Why am I giving it so much energy and so much consideration and buying things specifically for this project when that's not really what the client needs? That's not going to serve my business long term. And really all I've done is sold a fallacy about what it is that I'm doing to this client. It's not serving either one of us.
But that doesn't mean that you're not doing your best and delivering the best possible service that you can do with the best possible inventory as well, right? It's just a matter of being aligned with who you are, what you offer, and the client's needs, right?
Find your avenue. You can really begin to hone the special characteristics that you bring to that specific space.
Got it. And do you have any more insights or stories that you found transparency were really an upside, an advantage to you? And I would say not necessarily just staging related or projects or clients, but even on your social media and content creator journey. I think I think the reason why we're even talking is because you stood out, and I think it's because you've always been so genuine and so real and so transparent. So share more.
I have two great examples of times that transparency have really boosted our business. One, we got involved with this company might sound familiar to you, Pretty Little Thing, the fashion brand. They opened a Los Angeles headquarters.
This is
here.
them. I'm wearing their top.
Yeah. You know, it was I'm like a home stager of maybe 6 or 7 years at this point, and all of a sudden I'm talking to these massive companies, huge contractors, asking me for these forms of like digital design plans, FF&E, things I've never heard of, have no idea, and I'm just like sweating it the entire time, thinking they're going to realize that I'm just a homesteader. I'm not the designer they think they hired for this job.
Yeah.
But at one point, I was able to have a very transparent conversation because I could just tell the expectations were building up, and I was falling short. It was fortunate that we had that meeting, because after that, I realized that the owners of this company aren't interested in someone who's polished, that's going to bring ideas that they haven't thought about. These clients were really interested in having a creative partnership that helps them sort through their ideas. And I'm perfect for that. I'm a great editor, and I'm able to sell myself as that. Now, like the best, brightest, most amazing idea ever, that's not me. There are designers out there that excel in this. I wanted to be that, but really what's more special is the fact that I'm able to work with somebody else's idea and make that something possible or better.
Yeah.
So,
and we all need everyone, right? We need the one that had the idea, and then we need the one that will follow through with the idea. It's a combination of things, right? And I think it's important to know our strengths and know how to work with them and identify them. But if you know all of this and you do nothing about it, like voicing it when the time comes, then what's the point, right?
Right.
But that must have been so brave, though. Oh my gosh!
It was such a scary experience, and then it became so rewarding and such a confidence builder over time. You know, I thought, holy cow, I can tackle these projects. You don't have to be some fancy architect dream build, firm that in order to create something truly amazing that has at such a large scale, you just have to know who you are in that process and be willing to be that person.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good. And I think obviously if they end up not liking whatever you reveal, say I'm not the person for this job, then it can be somewhat upsetting because you lost the job. But I think long term, it's a lot better for you to be upfront and be transparent, because you would end up doing a horrible job at the end of the day.
Like a filter, for us, it just like knocks out all the unnecessary things.
Yeah. And
another time I can really think of being transparent, where in kind of like the most real time is right now. This marketing plan, this marketing program that we've started to develop. It's called Destaged, and it's a look into the lives of innovators in the home staging industry. And an innovator doesn't necessarily mean someone who's like inventing a product. It just means someone who's doing it a little bit differently. And I think there's so much to learn from these people. But we might not even have ever found them if not for a program like Destaged. Because in the month of July, I met a home stager on the East Coast who has a rental program for other aspiring home stagers that would allow them to have the bandwidth of a large staging company without having all that overhead. I met a small staging presence in Boston who has some fascinating ideas about how she's budgeting for her inventory purchases and how she's scaling at a small level, but intends to be a very large presence one day. I hope to be speaking with someone who eventually wants to be the national brand of Great Britain. Like, these are the movers and shakers of the industry, and they deserve to be showcased to the rest of us, because they are paving the way in new ways, forming new avenues in this business that might be options for upcoming home stagers. So I have been putting myself out there in very transparent ways, trying to form these partnerships, convincing these home stagers, let me come stay with you for 3 days. Let me film your life. Like, tell me how you actually got to where you got to, because I think other people really want to know that. And that the process of pitching this to these stagers has been an exercise in transparency. I'll tell you, because there have been so many times while I've been formulating or formalizing this plan that I thought, this isn't a thing. Like, no one's interested in this. This is something that I think is cool. And being honest about those kinds of insecurities, putting those into the pitch in a positive way, which showcases my true want for something positive to happen, is, I think, is the secret sauce to why it is starting to catch on.
Yeah, because people really connect with you, and I know a little bit about that, and I can feel that. But Daniel, okay, so just a parenthesis here. If anyone wants to find out more about this and maybe even be one of the stages that will be involved in this project, what do they need to do? Do they just reach out to you? Do you have like a selection process?
Yes.
Where are you going to be next? Tell me a little bit more so people can
also
really find out more.
And I get all jumbled up whenever I'm like pitching it, because I'm so excited about all the details of it. But yes, it is a selection process. Stagers have been reaching out to me through my email. You can reach us at info@stagespaces.com or DM me on our Instagram page. I'm always on there. And I'll get you connected with a collaboration sheet. The collaboration form will kind of be your first chance to outline what it is you think you really want to showcase to the rest of the staging industry, or what you think might be kind of like an interesting idea for an episode. Then we'll jump on a call. We'll talk about what it is you think you've got going on. I'll ask you some questions, and then there's a letter that goes out with all the specifics of the program. There are some costs associated with it, but one of the benefits to being a qualified host stager is, while production is there for 3 days, they're going to film you and deliver a 1-minute promo video specifically to your business, directed by you, with the help of our team. It's a really excellent opportunity to get like a professional level piece of promotional content. It's also a really valuable opportunity because there's going to be so much cross promotion. We're advertising on our YouTube channel as well as on our Instagram. TikTok has a pretty strong following as well, and collaborator status is awarded to these qualified home stagers. So it's really just let's join forces and get everyone looking at what it is you're doing, so that people who want to know this information have a place to learn.
I think it's all about collaborating, and as you said, joining forces. And just a quick one, you're doing this literally anywhere and everywhere, right? There's no limitation. People can come to you and then you can talk it through, figure something out, but geography is not an issue, right?
It is not an issue. We've been having conversations with stagers in Perth and London.
That's amazing. July
was kind of our beta month. We traveled the entire month around Los Angeles and the East Coast, and there was also RisaCon in the middle of there too. So we were also in Las Vegas connecting with these home stagers, and it was just it's so fascinating. I would love to be able to take anyone who's willing to watch into my experience of living and staying with these homes. It's so valuable. I've learned so much in the last month, 2 months about this business than I have in nearly a decade of being a home stager. I think I waited for a very long time to kind of invest in the community.
Yeah.
Too long. And maybe had there been an approachable space like a YouTube channel that I could have just tuned into when I felt like it, something lower pressure, I would have found my tribe sooner.
Yeah. But look, things happen at a certain time that is usually the right time. So maybe it would have been a lot different. You wouldn't be at the point that you are right now. So yeah, we never know, right? But it's here now, it's happening. And a little bird told me that you are coming to the UK because there's an HSA forum. You'll be speaking there, and I have a feeling you'll be doing a few other projects here and there. So anyone from the UK or Europe in general, if you're interested and want to know more information, do reach out to Daniel or even me if that's easy, and I'll put you guys in contact. But exciting stuff. All right.
Very exciting
Daniel,
program. I hope we talked enough about transparency. You know what I kind of wanted to ask you is, I spent a little bit of time in London last spring, and I wasn't sure whether I felt that the culture is more formal in just their presence than I naturally am, because at times I felt yes. Definitely they are. Other times I thought, no, this is actually quite relaxed. So how do you feel that over there that the topic of transparency, do you feel like it gets muddled in maybe like the formality of conversation or it has like we didn't plan to talk about that. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, but it's a very interesting question, but I don't think I'm really a reference when it comes to talking about this because I'm Brazilian. We're the kings and queens of not being formal and so for me I think the shock was a lot more than it was to you when you went there, because there is really a level of formality and I wouldn't say being cold, but definitely not being warm people. So that kind of like creates a barrier right there and then. But at the same time, they tend to be very frank, which I think, and I really do appreciate that, because there are some cultures, such as in Brazil, for example, sometimes people go round and round and round in circles to say no, and they don't really say it. They say, "Oh, think about it, and maybe," and then they never really say no. Whereas in England, and I think some parts of Europe as well, it is what it is. If it's a no, it's a no, and they don't really get upset if you are being honest. It's just, it is what it is. So they don't necessarily take it personally. So I think yes, there is more room for being transparent. I think people are more accommodating to whenever someone is actually telling the truth. However, if that crosses a line where it becomes too informal, for example, when we're talking transparency in content creation, then if you go too wild and decide to represent a brand that was supposed to have a certain language, a certain tone of voice, or a certain image, and you decide to become very personal and kind of not so consistent to what was being shown beforehand, then they might see it the wrong way. I think they might not be so receptive to that. Does that make sense?
I think that is spot on, actually. That's exactly what it looks like. And I wonder what that trend will look like moving forward. I know for us, 10 years ago, everyone was working on a slightly more professional approach. And now it is really just about like, how close can you let your customer get to you? That seems to be what the trend is here anyway. And I wonder really like continue on a global scale. I think it's a very interesting way of selling yourself.
I think what happened post pandemic and all that was that we saw each other as humans again. We know that we work from home. We know we have children and pets and noise and pajamas.
Yeah.
Right? We all know all of that. But I think it's how do you keep it professional whilst being personable, whilst being transparent, whilst being yourself? Where is that line? And I think that's where sometimes in certain places can be more flexible than other places. But I think it's something everyone needs to be mindful of. And that's why it's important to go back to that conversation that we had last time about identifying your audience, identifying who you're talking to, client or audience for content, whatever that might be, because that's the only way you know how far you can go, right?
Yep. Right.
But okay, so you asked me a really good question, so I've got another one for you. How do we find that balance then between being transparent and still either keeping it professional or making sure you don't become too crystal clear about certain things that are not really people's problems. There are some things that are sensitive and valuable information that you want to keep to yourself.
Yeah.
So where is that balance? Where's the line?
Where is that balance? I think that you definitely need to guard your proprietary characteristics. Something that would make you uniquely you, like your pricing structure or something, that is not something you necessarily need to be transparent about. But where I think the answer to this question really shows itself in example is when you are saying no to something, where a client is asking you for something and you have the opportunity to try to do it, to not do it, or to say, no, I don't do that, but what I can do is this. And I think that is essentially the line you want to always find with transparency, is being able to say, these are my boundaries, but this is what I can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's special about what I am doing. Because it doesn't alienate your clients, and it gives them a framework to understand you in.
I really like that. Yeah, and because I think it comes down to, I hate saying no because I feel like I'm letting people down and not solving the problem as a person, as a business. But that is really good because you say no and you keep your boundaries, but you offer a solution at the same time that hopefully will be good for both of you, right?
Yeah.
So that's really good.
And that really is honoring yourself. That's being transparent. That's saying that these are the services I offer. I don't pretend to do something other than that. This is who I am.
I love that.
And people
Okay.
will respect. Yeah,
I'm going to take note of that. That's really good. Daniel, I'm conscious you have to go very soon. You still have maybe 20 minutes to go on your journey. But yeah, oh goodness. But tell me something. You are coming to London very soon, and tell me, what are you going to talk about? There will be a little bit of transparency, a little bit of content. What else?
Yes, we're going to talk about how transparency really is an understanding that leads to storytelling that will just help you be able to sell your service, product, self in the most modern way that doesn't feel like you're selling yourself, and it doesn't feel like you're doing something that you don't want to do.
Perfect. I love that. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. And we've been talking for such a long time, but soon enough it'll be November and we'll be together in London. It'll be super fun and cold, but super fun.
I know. It was cold in April. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in November.
Yeah, it won't be fun. Look, it'll be very charming with Christmas lights popping up and all that. But the event will be so exciting that hopefully that will not matter and we'll have a fantastic time. People listening or watching, if you want to join us for the Home Staging Forums on the 2nd November at the Design Club, at the Design Chelsea Centre, the Chelsea Harbour, tickets are available on our link in the bio. In the meantime, if you want to find out more about Daniel and his amazing projects, or just to have a laugh and go to his Instagram page and see what it's like to be a stager, and maybe get a glimpse of the Orange County staging at some point soon, maybe. Daniel, how do people reach out to you? I know you've mentioned already, but people that might be listening can just click on your profile. Where can they find you and reach out to you?
I mean, we're at Staged Spaces on every platform. Stagespaces.com. My email's info@stagespaces.com. So please reach out.
Can't go wrong. Great stuff, Daniel. Hope it goes well today. Please do post some stuff of the staging, because I do want to see it, even though you say it's like entry level sort of properties and budget that you work with, but I'd be curious to see what an entry level in Orange County is. So see, people are asking, do you need an assistant, Daniel?
I know. Never know. You never know.
Never know. Get in touch. Daniel, thank you so much, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you so much, Paloma. Have a good night.
Speak soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening. For more information, please visit www.homestaging.org.uk.